Happy New Year and welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for joining me on this camping trip out into Ngunnawal country. I acknowledge the Ngunnawal people and their ongoing connection to this beautiful land. I was on my last couple of days of leave, so I took the kids out to the Namadgi National Park for an overnight camp and a chance to explore a few hiking trails. We put up a tent for the boys, and even though there was a constant rumble of thunder while we set up, I still wanted to test out my new mesh tent, even though there was, this constant threat of rain. So I figured I needed a tarp. It was not a great place for a ridgeline, so I used a plough point setup, and that's not the best way to keep dry in a really windy storm, but I was hopeful, and the worst case scenario is I could always bunk down with the kids if it got really wet. Once we were set up, we went for our first hike along Nass Creek. It's a great little creek and it runs right through this whole area and it will be with us on each of our hikes. It flows through this huge meadow which is surrounded by typical Aussie bush. Eucalypts, peppermints, acacias here and there. There was a lot of wildflowers out too, especially in the wide meadows, and butterflies of every kind all over the place. It's a great season for insects this year. And of course, kangaroos and wallabies everywhere you turn. Awesome. We got back to camp and replenished the water supply. Despite it being overcast, it was still pretty hot, so keeping 3 adults hydrated takes a fair bit of water. Good thing the creek's been flowing fast with all the La Nina rain we've been having. I used one of those Katadyn filters and it cleaned up 3 litres of water in no time. We had some dinner and the kids chilled out for a while reading, and I knocked up a coffee and watched the locals for a bit. After our food settled, we went for another hike, this time down Burnt Hill Fire Trail, also known as the Border Walk, as it takes you right down to the state border. It's an awesome hike following the meadow and the creek along the whole way. We saw a couple of deer and a million kangaroos and wallabies. These bull ants are like an inch long. And this bug is a variety of assassin beetle. Pretty cool. We got back to camp around 8:30 and the sky was starting to clear, and as one of my kids suggested, it was all very Bob Ross as the sun went down and we settled in for the night. And woke to a spectacular morning. There were no mozzies, so I didn't need to use the bug net at all, so I just laid out under the stars. I woke around 3 a.m. to be face to face with a possum, but he scurried away as soon as I stirred. But by that stage, the moon had disappeared and there were like a billion stars out. So thanks to my furry friend for waking me up. I did drift back off to sleep, but we're up with the sun, had some brekkie and packed up before setting off on another hike. This time to Horse Gully Hut, which is about an 18-kilometre round trip there and back. We were not sure if we had enough time to go the whole way, but we would at least be able to explore the Demandering Hut along the way. We were again walking through a long meadow with a million kangaroos following the Nass Creek in a sort of northeasterly direction. We had a few water crossings which were, rather welcome as it was starting to get warm very, very quickly. We saw plenty of orb spiders. This one had just caught a scorpion fly and was about to pounce, but it had escaped. And we saw this guy. Very cool. And then we reached Demandering Hut. Burned in the 2020 bushfires.
Aww.
Shame no one had updated any of the signs. But despite not seeing either of the huts, we had a great time out and about and left plenty to explore next time. Okay, that's it for this trip. If you'd like to see more of my camping adventures, click on some of the links. And of course, until next time, stay safe.